Hey y'all, it's Sarah here, and today I've got some Project Pan updates for you. Today we are talking eyes and lips. I mentioned in my Pan That Palette intro that I wasn't sure whether I was going to do monthly updates, particularly because especially in the beginnings of the project, it's just so hard to see any progress. I am not some of these project panning rock stars that can knock out, like a dozen eyeshadows in a month or, go through 2 and 3 palettes in a year. That's just not me. What I'm finding is that the palettes that I've chosen in particular are not going to be easy to pan. So I didn't want to just show you a couple of palettes with very little progress. So I thought at the same time, which you've probably already figured out, I'll go ahead and do my lip service update as well. And that way I can give you all of the updates that we need to talk about, but it's not going to be 2 videos with very little progress. I'm just going to combine everything into one. So first, let's start off with the Pan That palette. So Pan That palette was created by Amber F. She is, as I say, one of these Project Pan rock stars. She kind of created the entire idea of working through a whole palette until it was finished, and the Pantastic Ladies kind of took that idea and ran with it. The main creators of Pantastic Ladies are Amanda and Jessica Lee, and every year, the Pantastic Ladies Facebook group, we vote on what we want the theme to be for the coming year. And so this year's theme is Kickin' It Old School. All that means it doesn't have to be your oldest palette. We have done that as a theme once before, but it just has to be a palette that is older in your collection. So when I did my intro video, I talked about these 2 palettes that I wanted to work through this year. This is the Blink X BoxyCharm palette, and this is, it's called the Electric Eyes palette, and there are 5 shadows in this palette. And then I also talked about this completely nondescript palette by Naked Cosmetics, and there are 3 larger shadows in this palette. I mentioned that this was going to be my main palette, and then this would be the one that I would use to, kind of come alongside and supplement. That's not going to work for me. I have made a grave error, and I noticed very quickly that these are all shimmers. There are no matte shades in either of these palettes. So let's talk about the Naked Cosmetics palette first. This was supposed to be my companion palette, and this one, I have used each of these shades before, and I do really like them. So you can see particularly on this green one, I've used it quite a bit. This orange one I've used twice. I used that for Halloween, and then this more burgundy one, I've used that I think twice as well. So this green shade is the only one that I have used since beginning the project at the beginning of the year. I've used this one, I think twice, maybe 3 times. But you can see they are all these shimmery shades, not an ounce of matte anywhere in this palette, which is fine because, again, this was just supposed to be my companion palette. I'm not really focused on these. I just thought it would be nice to have some other earthy, warmer colors to work with as I work through this palette, which is the Electric Eyes and supposed to be my main palette. But again, not a single matte shadow. And you can see not that much progress. I use this shade every single day. That's what I use in my outer corner. And then what I have been doing is I'm taking a little bit of each of these, so this one in the middle and this one on the end. I'm taking a little bit of each of those and patting that very gently into the majority of my eyelid. these are going to take forever to use. They're so pigmented, and I find that I cannot use hardly any of the shadow at all, or it just is a complete sparkle bomb across my eye. So because those are all shimmers, I did have to bring in another complement, so basically 2 complementary palettes, just to work a little bit of matte into the look, which I'm mostly using for my my crease area. And so what I have brought in, I've used this as a supplement before. This is the Element of Surprise palette by ColourPop. I do love some of the shades in this palette. You can see it is very neutral, but like cool toned neutral. But then we have this like shocking pink shade over here. We've got this one right next to it is like an iridescent purple kind of a shimmer shade. So it is in keeping with the theme, Element of Surprise, that it's mostly neutral, but a little bit of color. So what I have been doing is I am mixing, let me see, it's, I gotta look at it right side up. Okay, I have been mixing these 2 shades right here. So this little bit deeper shade, and then this very like beigey kind of shade. So this one here is called Details, and this one is called Labyrinth. So what I've been doing is I've been mixing those 2 and sort of blending that into my crease, and then sort of blowing it out of my crease, just to give a little bit of lightness to the eye area. Before I go in with these other shimmer shadows. So you can see on each of them where I have been working through. So hopefully you can see like right here on this side, and then I'm hoping that you can see a little bit on that side as well, where I've been working through that. Guys, I don't know. I really don't know what to do at this point. I like the look that I have, you know, kind of created, but I feel like I'm going to be doing this same look the entire year because there's so little progress on these shades. I truly can use just the tiniest amount. I mean, look, you can tell in this shade right here, there is some good progress. I mean, you can at least tell there's a dip in there, right? There's some use, but like this one, you can barely see. And this one, you know, same thing. You can see a little bit, but not a lot. And this shade I've used one time, and this one right here, brand new. Haven't even touched it. So I'm kind of at a loss. I would love to hear your thoughts, what you think I should do, if I should just scrap this project altogether, which I don't want to do because, as I've said before, I love the community, I love the camaraderie and how everybody, you know, is really supportive and cheers you on. I don't necessarily want to scrap the project, but I'm wondering if I should just start over. I don't know. I mean, we're less than 2 months into the year at this point, so we can. I certainly can. I would have 10 months to work on some other palette, which would probably, you know, give me a better combination of colors, a better combination of finishes, you know, matte and shimmer and glitter and whatever. But again, you know, I am for now liking this look that I have created, but I don't know how long that's gonna last. So let me know what you think. I don't know. Let's move on because I do have a little bit more progress to talk about in my lip shades. So give me just a second to kind of sort through all of these and categorize them again, and I'll come back to you. Okay, so the first 2 lip liners that I want to talk about, these were the Sephora lip liners that I put in here. Now, I had already mentioned in my intro video that I'm not great about remembering to use lip liners, but these are particularly dark shades. This one is the very dark berry one is called Deep Aubergine. And then this lighter kind of pinky red one is called Fresh Berry. And these are freshly sharpened. I sharpened them when I put them into the project, and they have not been used at all. That's not really a surprise to me. These are not shades that I typically gravitate toward. But I wanted them in there just for some variety. So I do want to work through them, but I'm just not using them right now. I think there will be some point where I will, potentially use these. But if I am going to go for a bold lip, my kind of default is to go for something that's bright and bold and not deep or dark and bold. So not really terribly surprised that I haven't gotten around to using either of those just yet. However, on the other two liners that I put into the project, these I have used. So this is the Real Red by Beautique. Excuse me. This one I did freshly sharpen, and you can see how big it is there. Almost brand new still, but I have used this, I think, twice since putting it into this project. I have worn red a couple of times, and so I've used this, I think, twice, could have been 3 times. The other one, now this is the one that's gotten the most use, not really a surprise to me. This is a MAC lip liner, and it's called Embrace Me. This is probably my favorite. It is a bold, bright pink. And this one too, although I have gotten some use out of it, this was almost brand new when I put it into this project. I have probably used this 4, maybe 5 times. And if you'll remember, I think I did my lip service intro like in the middle of January. So when I say, I've used this X amount of times since the beginning of the project, I'm talking about, pretty much in the last month or so, 5 weeks-ish. So this one I do really, really enjoy. And I have, as I say, I've used it quite a bit, probably 4 or 5 times. Next, we have the glosses and the lip mask. And so this is the Fourth Ray Beauty, which is the sister to ColourPop. This is my favorite lip mask. I have used some very expensive ones. I've used some very inexpensive ones. This used to be $8. I think it's now like $10 or maybe $12. But this will last you forever, so it's definitely worth it, even if it's $12. This is called the Strawberry Overnight Lip Mask. As I say, it is from Fourth Ray Beauty. And this pot, I'm hopeful that you can see that. There is still, I would say, about a third of the product left in here. I used this all last year, and I use it several times per day. I still use it several times per day. And so, yeah, this one is probably going to last me, I would say, I don't know, maybe another 3 to 4 months. I can tell, there are some places where it's getting closer down to the bottom of the pot. And I am not one who typically likes a jar or a pot of gloss. I don't love to stick my finger in there, but this one I don't mind, and I don't really know why that is. I don't know if it's because I like the product so much, but ColourPop does now have lip masks and lip scrubs in stick form. I haven't tried them. This is the one that I know that I like, so this is the one that I'm probably going to keep using. But that is an option if, like me, you don't love to stick your finger in a pot like that. Next, another ColourPop product. We have the Blotted Lip, and I can't remember what shade this one is. I have used this a couple of times since my intro video. I think I've used this, I'm going to say 3 times, and I am going to try to keep better track because, again, I realize when you're just thinking from month to month, it is hard to remember, okay, where was that last month? Okay, now, this is where it is this month. I know there are some panners who will keep track on the actual product, and so maybe I'll try to do that, but I've tried it both ways. I've tried to keep track on the product, and then other times I've tried to keep track like on a sheet of paper, and I can tell you the sheet of paper doesn't work for me. I don't love trying to track down the products to get those all together, then trying to track down the piece of paper and find out, figure all of that out and mark it and then show you. And that just doesn't seem to work for me. So for now, I'm just going to keep showing you the progress like this, and maybe I'll try to remember to mark it on the tube itself before the next update. All right, next we've got a couple of Mary Kay. These are the lip Nourishine Plus lip gloss. So this one is just a clear shade with the tiniest micro glitters imaginable. You can kind of see that it's a little bit iridescent. That shine, or I'm sorry, not the shine, but the glitter does not come off on the lips. So that does not convey if, even if I wear it by itself, it just looks shiny. There is a little bit of a bubble right here. I'm hopeful that you can see that because I have used this a few times. I have used this twice since my intro. This one, however, this one is in Beach Bronze, and this one I've used more times than that. I've used it either 4 or 5 times. And so this one you can see has, hopefully you can see, I don't know if my light is kind of blowing it out, but like there's a big gap down there at the bottom. I think it was just sitting kind of funny. So all of the product is like, kind of coming to the top, or maybe it was when I was waving it around, when I was gesturing, I don't know. But all of the product has kind of fallen down this way. And so there is a big gap where there is, where there's no product there down at the bottom. So I do enjoy these. They are a sticky formula. I don't know if this is still the lip gloss I don't know if this is still the current lip gloss formula because I haven't ordered anything from Mary Kay in a while. And those are several years old, but I like it, but very sticky. Just something to be aware of. Next, let's talk about the lipsticks. First, I want to talk about this, which is from ColourPop. So another, you can see I went nutso on the ColourPop stuff. This is one of their lippy sticks, and it's in a Matte X formula, which again, don't know if they still make that, but this is awesome. And it is in the shade Trust Me. This one, I always do a balm underneath it because when they say Matte X, holy cow, they mean it. This is such a matte formula. I wore this to book club a few weeks ago. I put the gloss on, or I put the lip balm on first, and then I put this on, and it stayed the entire night through eating and drinking and talking and laughing, and we just had a fantastic time. I ate pizza. So this stuff will stay on all night. But I can't remember. I had intended to put it in my intro video, but I can't remember if I actually did. So let me show you. I hope you can see kind of right there where the starting point is. So this one I have used quite a bit, you can tell. And I will roll it up for you. Here we go. So this is another one where it is something that I use. It's not something that I use all the time, but since I have started this project, I have worn this quite a few more times. I am, I'm kind of making a point of wearing lipstick more often and not just slapping the balm on and going into the office or, like a clear gloss or something like that. Even when I am in the office, which as I have mentioned is super conservative. And so, I will be the standout if I wear a bold lip. Let's just say, I don't care anymore. I'm just wearing what I want to wear, So I have been making a point more to wear a bold lip or, at least continue to wear lipstick even while I'm in the office. Nobody's ever told me that I can't wear, loud makeup or whatever. It's just a toned down office. Next, we've got another Mary Kay product, and this is the, I can't remember what their lipstick line is called, but this, again, an older lipstick, and it's in the shade Black Cherry. I can show this to you just so you can have a reference of it, but I haven't used this. I have used the lipstick itself. I think I've used it 2 or 3 times, but I have not used this since putting it into the project. And this is, again, where, you know, I kind of put in those deeper lip liners because I just wanted to have an option that if I, you know, if I want to wear a deeper lip, then I want to have one in particular that I'm focusing on. And that's why I put those liners in there too. So haven't worn it yet in this project, but, you know, I'm sure eventually I will get to that. Next, let's talk about what I'm wearing now. So I love this purple. This is the Kat Von D K-Dub. This is a liquid lip, and I get compliments on this color literally all the time. This is the one that I probably wear the most when I'm gonna go for a bold lip, and particularly like if I'm gonna wear it into the office or someplace where I don't want to be touching it up every hour, you know, or something like that. I wore this in particular with this green vest today because particularly when I'm filming, I like to wear a bold lip. I usually will wear either like a hot pink or I will wear a red, but I didn't want to look Christmassy today, so I didn't want to wear like green and red because that to me screamed Christmas. I was going to do my hot pink, but then I picked this up and I was like, oh yeah, we're doing purple today. This liquid lip is so low maintenance. So again, I put a little bit of balm on underneath and then I put this on, and this one does dry down, but it takes several minutes. So like if you go outside of the line or if you bump it or if you know, whatever, you need to clean it up a little bit more, this is very forgiving. And I appreciate that in a liquid lip because I'm not good with the application. I can be a little bit sloppy, or, you know, I'll be like over here getting it, you know, and then like just make a mess of the corners or, you know. So I appreciate that this is forgiving. And also I just love the color. Purple is my favorite color. So this like almost neon looking purple, 2 thumbs way up from me. All right, now let's talk about that hot pink that I was going to wear. This is I still don't know how to say this brand. I think it's Laga Cloud Lips. This is a color also that I love, but it does stay creamy. So this one, like, I kind of have to pay attention if I'm going to wear this. And it's very funny to me. It doesn't even look like it's been worn that much because it's still like flush with the top of the container of the tube, I should say. But I've worn this a lot. I have worn it with the MAC liner, this lip liner. These are a perfect combination. This liquid, or sorry, not liquid lip, this lipstick is a little bit of a blue tone, so I love it. I will show you with it rolled up. You can kind of see there's like a dip in the middle of the you know, of the top of it. So you can sort of see where I have used it a little bit. But I feel like this is going to last a really long time because, again, it's not something that I haven't used. I have been using this fairly often. I mean, I've probably used it 4, maybe 5 times. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it in like the last several videos. So I've used it quite a bit, but it hasn't gone down, so I have a feeling those are gonna take a really long time to work through. All right, next we've got 2 neutrals, and I kind of use these like interchangeably. I really need to work on this Urban Decay one. I don't know if this is I think this is the Vice lipstick. I think the Revolution lipsticks were the ones that were in the purple tubes. And I have broken the bottom of this where you, so it's really hard for me to like take it out. But this is in the shade Tampered, and this is a comfort matte. So this one does stay well, but it never gets that like super, super dry feeling on your lips. I have worn the absolute heck out of this shade. And so you can see, I definitely want to finish this one. There's no use even taking this into next year. I would love to use this one up in the first half of the year. And then I can, I can start focusing on this Bite one. I want to show them to you side by side because you're going to see how super similar the shades are. See that? This one, the Bite Beauty one, is called Chai, and then the Urban Decay is called Tampered, and they're so similar, and I do love them both. I really do. On the lips, this one is a little bit more brown, and this one is a little more like a dusty, like a mauve or like a rose kind of a color. I don't want to say pink because it's definitely not pink, but it has more like rosy hues to it, and this one has more brown tones to it. So they do both look very similar. It's just if I put on a couple of coats, that's kind of where the differences are. Now, I don't wear either of these at their full capacity. What I do is I will like blot them on my lips so that I don't get a super brown lip. I'll kind of dot them on and then, kind of smudge them together. And as I say, I do like both of them. I really like them both. They're good formulas. And I really think that the skin or the tone of the lipsticks for my skin tone looks very natural. So these are kind of like my defaults if I'm going into the office, or if I'm just in a situation, maybe I'm dressed down and a little bit casual and I want to have on a face, but I don't necessarily want to wear a bold lip. Then I'm going to default to one of these. I've used both of these, I would say, close to a dozen times each. Probably the Urban Decay more so than the Bite, but to me, they're pretty much interchangeable. So really looking forward to using up both of those, hopefully by the end of the year. The last product that we have to talk about is my e.l.f. lip, whatever this is called, like lip product remover, lipstick remover, I don't know. This was brand new. I actually showed it to you in the packaging, and it looks like I've used a ton of it because it's all the way down here now. That's not really the case because obviously it can't be like all the way full when it's brand new. I've used this 3 times, and I typically will use it on a day like today where I've got a liquid lip on, or maybe I've got that Matte X formula that's the bold red from ColourPop, somewhere where I'm just going to need a little bit more help getting that color off of my lips. So I've used this one 3 times. As I said before, it is going to take a long time for me to work through that because it's just not something that I need to use every single day. So guys, that is everything that I have worked through eyes and lips for the last month or so. Thanks so much for watching. If you're participating in either the Lip Service Project Pan or Pan That Palette or any other project with the Pantastic Ladies, be sure to leave me a comment down below so I can watch your videos and support you. Thank you for your support as well. Check out all of my links down in the description box below. And thanks for watching. I'll talk to you really soon. Bye.